I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about, is there hope for us? Well, if you're going through a breakup, it can feel incredibly hopeless. And oftentimes, there is a period where there really is no chance to reattract them. And every situation is very different. But yes, there are periods where you really can't do anything to reach out and reattract them, as oftentimes it makes the situation a lot worse. So yes, I know the feelings that you're going through where you just feel like there's no chance they're ever going to come back. But I can tell you time and time again, I see surprises every day. And even if your situation does feel like you'll never hear from them again, they'll never be reattracted or reinterested, I could tell you, believe it or not, many cases there are good opportunities to reattract them, and a lot of that is going to be based on your behavior. And it's very, very easy to turn an ex off again because, well, if they decided to end the relationship, they were really probably turned off by your behavior, maybe the way you were treating them, and maybe there were other factors going on. Of course, there are tons of different factors that it could be. So just know that I see situations every day that feel hopeless, but there comes a point, a lot of times it's a surprise, where your ex does reach out again. And I have a success story to share with you, and then I have another email, and I think you guys are going to be really excited for this first guy here. He said, "Hello, Coach. I just wanted to share my success story, and I do hope that you are able to share it. I wanted to say a profound thank you for so many reasons. My girlfriend and I of 4 years split up last December around an argument around Christmas. Looking back, I can see how many mistakes I was making in our relationship. At the time, I had no idea." And this is why I'm always telling you guys, work hard on yourself, look at improving yourself and how, you've been behaving in the relationship, because, you might have an opportunity to, get back with your ex, but if your behavior continues to turn them off and you continue to do things that were problematic in the relationship, they're going to get turned off again. She had a coworker that had a crush on her and kept texting her. He kept pushing himself on her, and at first, she came and showed me a text that told him to respect our relationship. For a brief time, he did, and even started dating another woman. I think this actually made my girlfriend jealous because he was no longer giving her attention, but giving it to someone else. Well, that is an interesting turn of events, because ironically, you were hoping that he would find someone else and leave your girlfriend alone, and then when he did, your girlfriend got jealous because you probably weren't doing enough to make her feel like you cared about her. He then just used her for a springboard about his new girlfriend. It somehow seemed to make my girlfriend want him more. I got really angry at her and started to become controlling. That's our anxiety kicking up, that separation anxiety that I'm always telling you guys. We get that separation anxiety. We become manipulative, controlling, selfish, self-absorbed in order to soothe that anxiety. I got really angry at her and started to become controlling. I already said that part. I now know I should have acted more like an adult and tried to communicate better. But it made me crazy jealous, and I couldn't control myself. Your videos helped me see these things. It helped me understand why I was doing what I was doing and how to change it. We did a few Skypes together, and it really helped calm down my anxiety. We came up with a plan, and I remember you said I had been on the verge of making a big mistake. I had this entire scenario planned out with a friend of hers and her family. I was hesitant, but stuck with our plan. I watched your videos every single day. Sometimes I would just binge on a weekend. Finally, in the middle of June, she did the indirect, direct approach you mentioned. I went over all the notes I wrote down from our Skypes. We had a meetup and it went amazing. We even hooked up that first night. I never would have expected that in a million years. I really thought after that long I would never hear from her again. She told me last week for the first time that she loves me and told me she sees a future with us again. I am incredibly grateful, and I want everyone to know that even when things seem hopeless, they may not be. Make working on yourself the #1 priority, not getting an ex back. That will happen if it's meant to. Well, not everybody is going to get an opportunity to get your ex back, and I know how incredibly frustrating it can be when you hear other stories about people that they have their ex reach out and yours doesn't. And I talk to some of you guys and you're so frustrated, and I get that. It's not easy to hear about other people that finally have their ex reach out and yours hasn't. And, you know, it's part of the process. You know, not everybody is going to get their ex back, but that's why I'm constantly trying to teach you how to be better in relationships, how to understand yourself, how to understand a partner better, so you can attract somebody amazing if you don't re-attract your ex. Because the bottom line is, you're going to have relationships for the rest of your life. And you need to invest in yourself and that process in order to have healthier relationships. So if your ex never comes back and they never reach out, when someone else amazing comes along, you have a great opportunity and you don't make the same mistakes you did with your other ex or your other exes or whoever you dated previously. But some of you guys get really lazy and complacent, and once you think the ex is never coming back, you quit. And I see this a lot, and then you wind up regretting it when they do reach out when you're least expecting it. So, thank you very much for sharing that success story. I'm really happy for you. It sounds like things are going much better for you, and that's awesome. And see, you did the work, and now it's paying off. And, you know, guys, I really encourage you to make yourself a priority, just like he said here. And yes, that's exactly what you need to do, is focus on you and how to be the best version of you so you can be their best option. Alright, I have a second email here. This guy is in his mid-30s, dating a woman roughly the same age, and they've been together for almost 20 years. Now, they were married for a good portion of it, and they have some kids together. He says, my question is about a breakup that occurred in June. I caught my wife in a car, parked, kissing another man. She had an affair for 2 months. Wow. So that, I can only imagine how awful that would be. You've been with this woman for almost 20 years. You've been, married for a lot of that. You have kids together and you catch her in the middle of an affair. It would be infuriating. I can only imagine how angry and hurt you would be in that situation. My wife's father is religious, old-fashioned, very formal, well-educated, and a bit arrogant. Her mother is a very simple farmer's daughter with no education. The breakup was awful for me and shocking for her, as I caught her out in a car parked near my home while the kids were at school. Wow. That's awful, man. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Really, that is just awful to hear. And you must have been shocked beyond belief to see her in a, oh my God, I don't know if it was her car or your car. I'm guessing it was hers. That's how you spotted the car. It's terrible. I was suspicious for 3 weeks leading up to catching her out, as I had put the pieces together very quickly. Once caught, she became fearful and defensive and threatening. Interesting. Look at her, how her anxious behavior caused her to act. If she became anxious and threatening. She asked me if my kids hated her now, and she said she might as well go kill herself. Well, this sounds like she's trying to manipulate you by saying, oh, I'm going to kill myself, and then it's like saying, well, you better not tell the kids, because if not, I might kill myself. So it sounds like a threat. Without, threatening you, she's like threatening the situation. I handled the breakup well and kept my cool while talking to her after the event. I then asked her to come home 2 days later to talk about things and try to work out our relationship. Well, I would not have done that like that because, well, she had an affair on you, and you need to have a healthy emotional response. And I think it would be anger. And instead, 2 days later, you're telling her to come home to talk about things. So she knows she did something wrong, and yet now she thinks, oh, wow, he already wants me to come over and talk about this? I mean, where's the guilt and the remorse she's going to have over this situation? I don't think she's going to feel much because you're not giving her any time to do that. I failed that I was grilled her over the details and found out that she had fell in love with this guy. Oh man, he was a type of coach to her son. So that would make you feel even worse. God, man, that's terrible. About 2 days later, she told me she wanted to separate and she moved to her parents' place. She told me she isn't in love with me anymore and she had become emotionally disconnected from me over the last couple of years. And this is what happens in relationships, guys. You have to know how to maintain relationships. You have to know how to communicate, which is why I put out videos like how to be your Superman, how to be your mountain. The reason couples argue, those videos should be some of the highest watch videos that I have because you need to know how to make a relationship work. You don't. Obviously, you're in a breakup. So what happened during that breakup? Of course, I'm not putting the blame on you because two people created it. But what aspect of that relationship did you create that was unhealthy that it led to it falling apart? And if you don't learn the skills to make it last, you're just going to continue to repeat the same thing to people and wind up getting dumped again. Told me that I had become insensitive and acted like I was better than everyone. This guy is 10 years her senior and impotent. He has missing teeth, and my wife told me he isn't the sort of guy she would normally go for. So you're comparing yourself to this guy in order to make yourself feel better. I get it. She told me she still finds me physically attractive, and I have a much more attractive body than he does. She said the affair was emotional and not sexual, as he has sustained erectile damage to previous injuries. This guy finds my wife fascinating and has said she is way out of his league. So chances are he's going to get way too excited about the situation and come on so strong that he chases her away. She's classy and beautiful. Classy? You might want to reconsider that. Not to be too mean here, but she did have an affair on you. So I would not define that as classy. He is ugly but charming. Her parent... What are you, describing a Shrek here? I feel like you're describing Shrek. Her parents and sister are very angry with her, and they think I'm the best thing that happened to her, and they love me very much. Well, I mean, sure, you're probably, a great guy in a lot of ways, but that doesn't mean you're a great partner. And they wouldn't know that because you're not their partner. Because let's face it, we treat our spouse and our girlfriends or boyfriends or husbands and wives very differently than we treat other people in our life. And a lot of that comes from we feel like we can. We feel like we can mistreat them and they're going to stay. And so when you get complacent like that, there's a good chance you're going to mistreat somebody. So you never want to have the attitude of they're going to stay with me no matter what, because when they leave you, you're going to be hurting. I showed her all of her life skills and she had nothing when I met her. Yikes. Wow, that's kind of mean. You're like saying, well, you were nothing without me, and you think that's going to make her want you back? Her freedom was very restricted by her father when she was young. I was her rescuer, she told me. Wow. But it sounds like you're trying to throw that in her face. You owe me. You owe me because I took care of you. Well, that's not how people operate. And unfortunately, a lot of times you can treat people great and do a lot of things for them, and then you feel like they owe you something. But that's not really how it works. Since the breakup and during the last month, I have gone over all the logic and reasoning mistakes, but she said there is always hope for reconciliation. I found your channel on YouTube and have started taking control of my communication with her. No contact is difficult as we have kids. Sure, well, that can be very challenging when you have kids with somebody is trying to go no contact. So, of course, you're not going to be able to do no contact because you have to be a responsible parent. But, there are certain ways that, you would handle that situation. And depending upon what's going on with the custody of the kids is how you would handle that. She told me she was going to get her own place last week, and I told her that if she gets a rental, then I'll assume we are over and there's no chance of reconciliation. Now see, I don't understand why you would say that. It sounds almost like you're creating another ultimatum for her. Or maybe not another one, but an ultimatum. This isn't going to reattract her. Well, if you get your own place, I assume we're over and we're never going to be back together. That's pretty dramatic, and it's going to turn her off. She later told me she wasn't going ahead with her plans to get a rental. I let her move back home with the kids, as she works part-time and I work full-time, and she is going to have to be the primary caregiver. I moved to my parents' place. I told her I'm using this time to improve my attitude and my relationship skills. She seemed impressed. I'm very fit, attractive, and well-groomed, so new clothes and improved health are not necessary. I told her I was moving on and dating also. All she was interested in who was the girl I was dating. Yeah, I can imagine that really bothered her. And you're in a situation where she's dating somebody else. She's having an affair on you, so she certainly can't get mad at you for dating. I went to my house yesterday to collect some things, and she welcomed me with a very bubbly nature and called me by my pet name and was very interested to know who I was dating. Sounds like she's trying to butter you up for some information there. I asked her why she is interested and that I don't ask her about her life. She said, "You're not interested in me." See, she's trying to manipulate you here. You're not interested in me. So what is she trying to do? She's fishing, right? You're not interested in me. So you can either say, well, yes, I am. I want to work it out. Or, you're right. See, she's fishing. That's a nice sneaky tactic she's got going on there. I said I would prefer to be working on our marriage than dating. She said, well, let's work on it. And then hastily told me she has to go pick up our son. I said, you're very confusing. She laughed cutely and said, oh, that was just a joke. She used jokes to hide truths she always has. Yeah, see, I don't like that because she's got you under her spell here and she knows it. She's got this guy she's having an affair with. Meanwhile, she wants to know who you're dating and if you're interested in her still. I would not be playing that game. She is very gentle and very cute and childlike. Well, that's manipulation. She is also quite insecure and has no close friends. Why is that? Why doesn't she have any close friends? People don't want to be her friend? Something to think about. She also hasn't seen this other guy in public, only in private, and always referred to him as just a friend. And that is just her and the kids now. My question is there hope for us, and how should I go about winning her back? I feel she made a mistake and was very vulnerable at the time she met the other guy. Okay, well, I think you saying she made a mistake is just your ego talking, because she obviously made the decision that she wanted to make, and I think that there's something going on within you, that you are sensitive and your ego is really affected by things, but you try and hide it, and it comes out with little things like, well, or cues like saying that, oh, I was the one that took you from your father and I rescued her and all that stuff. It's like you owe me type of attitude that's underlying inside your subconscious or your unconscious. I think your attitude of winning her back needs to go away, because we're looking at a situation where she had an affair on you and you flat out caught her. I mean, this was not I wonder if she did. This is, look who's in the car making out with another guy. And that's like a teenager, right? I mean, it's like something a teenager would do. And this guy is impotent, so maybe that's a lie. Who knows? I mean, she could be just telling you that, or maybe there are little blue pills for that. So that could be a lie. But her, as far as her making a mistake, I mean, it was wrong for what she did. Having an affair on you is it's wrong. You guys are in a committed relationship. Was it a mistake? I mean, maybe, but that can't be the way you need to look at the situation. Is there hope for you to win her back? Well, you can't have the attitude of, I need to win her back. I mean, not like this, not with this situation. I mean, she was cheating on you. Okay? She has to be interested in working this out with you and acting like an adult, and she's not. I mean, she wants you to want her, but she doesn't actually want you. She wants to go and hang out with this other guy and see where that goes, even if it's just temporary because it makes her feel good, and she still wants to know if you want her. And by telling her, I'd rather work it out, it almost like fed her ego, where she's like, oh good, I still have him, but who are you dating? I want to know who you're dating. So, to me, she's not acting maturely, and until she gets to a place where she says, look, I do love you, I do want to work it out, we do have a family together, we've been together for almost 20 years, let's talk about this, let's work on this, let's figure this out together. I don't think this is the right place emotionally for her in order to get this right on the right track, because it's almost like she's very childish and immature about how she's handling this right now, and you even described her as acting like a little child too. So it's like she's regressed emotionally to a very younger age, and unless she decides she wants to work through this, and she needs to be coming from a place where she's apologetic and sincere and transparent in order to get you guys to a place where you can trust her again, it's going to be really hard to work this out. So that's my thoughts about your situation. If you'd like to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I can do email coaching with you, or I could do Skype coaching with you. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.